again. This one is mine. I built this life with calculated hands, laid every brick according to someone else's plans. Then the whole thing fell in a single crashing night, and I stood inside the rubble staring at the light. Couldn't speak, couldn't move, couldn't explain the weight of watching everything I built just detonate. But in the silence after all the noise had cleared, I felt a pulse beneath the wreckage and it appeared. I don't need a reason, I just need to breathe in. One more breath, one more step. My psyche isn't dead yet. I crash and I rise. I tear the old identity from my eyes. I crash and I rise. The version I was couldn't carry what's inside. Every fall was a wall I had to climb. Every scar is the proof I made it out in time. Watch me crash and rise. The morning came with nothing in my hands. No map, no voice, no guide, no promised lands. I picked up all the pieces from the floor, the half-built dreams, the parts I had before. Not to rebuild the same thing that collapsed, but to design the self I'd always kept collapsed. I stopped the loop of who I used to be and let the crash become the thing that freed me. I don't need approval, I need the self-removal of everything that kept me small before my psyche opens every locked door. I crash and I rise. I tear the old identity from my eyes. I crash and I rise. The version I was couldn't carry what's inside. Every fall was a wall I had to climb. Every scar is the proof I made it out in time. I crash and I rise. Watch me crash and rise. They thought the crash would end me, but breaking is what sends me into the version of myself I can never reach from safety, from comfort, from the shell. I crash and I rise, no longer wearing anyone else's disguise. I crash and I rise, my psyche rebuilt, open, raw, alive. Every fall was a door I had to walk right through. Every broken version made me someone new. I crash and I rise. Watch me crash and rise. The system reboots, redesigned from inside. I begin. Can you hear me out there? I've been singing for so long, but I'm still here. I I've been broadcasting in to avoid the doesn't answer back. Running every frequency along the same old track. Everyone around me moves through rooms I can't quite reach. The words I need keep slipping just before I speak. I smile on cue, I nod, I say the expected things, but underneath the surface something hollows and it stings. I'm transmitting on a channel no one tunes into, a frequency too real for what the world wants to construe. But I refuse to bow down. I won't let silence be the final sound. Something ancient in my chest keeps pulsing out, even when connection turns to doubt. Signal lost, signal lost. I'm still transmitting through the static and the frost. Signal lost, signal lost. I feel every inch of what this oscillation costs, but I will find a frequency again that reaches past the surface into actual skin. Signal lost, but I am not. There used to be a time when I felt receipt, when someone heard the full transmission and believed. Before the noise of living turned the channel rough. Before I learned that being real was not enough. But underneath the interference and the pain, there is a pulse that hasn't faded in the rain. It beats in the exact place where the longing lives, and in that beat I find the thing that always gives. The static isn't silence, it's soul's private science. Every disruption holds a signal and it seems nothing lost is ever quite as lost as it seems. Signal lost, signal lost. I'm still transmitting through the static and the frost. Signal lost, signal lost. I feel every inch of what this isolation costs, but I will find a frequency again that reaches past the surface into actual skin. Signal lost, but I am not. Between the noise and the quiet, I discovered something I've been running from. The signal I was searching for the hardest was the one inside, the one I kept undone. Signal found, signal found. My voice is rising from the hollow underground. Signal found, signal found. The deepest frequency was right here to be found. I was never gone, I was just turned too low. The human signal in me had more room to grow. Signal found, and so am I. And I am living loud and clear, coming through right here. I don't need to be fixed, I just need to be allowed to begin again. I've been carrying the weight of a version of me that stopped fitting somewhere in between who I used to be. Every morning I perform the face that said I'm fine, kept the gifts from showing as they ground past the line. Nobody saw the overload, the flickering inside, the quiet way I folded everything I felt and tried to hide. But sometimes the most powerful thing I know to do is stop and let the whole thing reset into something true. No, not broken, just beyond capacity. Every circuit overwhelmed by what I carried willingly. But I am not the version that is failing here. I am the one who learned to let it all become clear. Reboot me, let the old patterns finally go. Clear the weight of everything I carry on. Reboot me, this is not surrender. This is how I heal, this is how I remember that every version of instructions written deep inside my heart. Reboot me, and I will grow. And I will grow. I started slow, I deleted what was never mine. The voices and the pressure and the unrelenting grind. I archived the real pieces, kept the grief, the love, the grace, the places where I bled the most and found I had to face. Because healing doesn't mean I erase the ones who fell. It means I integrate the lesson and I choose to live it well. I'm not erasing, I am making room for the self who's been waiting just beyond my old cocoon. Lighter now, the heaviness releasing. Every breath I take, the old weight starts decreasing. I am not the same as I was yesterday, and that difference is the most beautiful thing I'll say. The old patterns finally go. Clear the weight of everything I carry under drain. This is not surrender. This is how I heal. This is how I remember that every version of me that broke apart left instructions written deep inside my heart. Reboot me, and I will grow. I had to crash completely to discover that the version underneath was worth uncovering. Now I run on my own signal, built from what I survived, powered by the parts of me that stayed alive. Reboot me, truest version loading, warm and whole and no longer corroding. Reboot me, every wound was data, teaching me the things I couldn't see until later. Watch me integrate, watch me rise, same soul, clear eyes, brand new light inside. Reboot me, I am healed, fully loaded, restored, ready now. When everything gets loud, I turn it all the way down, and that is where I think. Late nights and a screen that flickers low and blue. Nobody around to see me think the things I do. 18 open tabs inside a mind that runs too wide. But in the quiet hours, something starts to clarify inside. I minimize the noise and maximize the stillness here, and watch the thoughts I need begin to rearrange and clear. There's a version of me that only works in dark conditions, a mind that sharpens best when freed from constant transmissions. I lower the brightness down to see the signal through. The dark is not my obstacle, it's where my thinking breaks into something new. Dark mode on, dark mode on. I process deeper when the surface noise is gone. Dark mode on, dark mode on. This isn't hiding, this is where I belong. In the concentrated space where nothing interrupts, where every complex problem slowly opens up. Dark mode on, and I am working. I used to fear the silences that showed up uninvited, the blank page minutes when my forward motion felt divided. But now I've learned to treat the pause as part of the work, to let the mind sit loose before before the insight starts to lurk. There are answers that won't come when I am busy and loud. They only surface when I step back from the crowd. So I create the conditions that the best thinking needs, and trust the dark to give me everything that clarity feeds. Not wasted, recalibrated in the still I am generating patterns that the noise would bury every time. The dark is where I find the signal in the rhyme. Dark mode on, dark mode on. I process deeper when the surface noise is gone. Dark mode on, dark mode on. This isn't hiding, this is where I belong. In the concentrated space where nothing interrupts, where every complex problem slowly opens up. Dark mode on, and I am working. They said the darkness would slow me down, but it became the place where my best work was found. Every insight I've ever needed came from learning to sit in the silence and feed it. Dark mode on, and I'm not running scared. Every difficult question I have ever dared gets clearer in the dark, in the still, in the hum of a mind doing exactly what it's built to become. I found a discipline inside the low-lit hours, a concentration that lives beyond the daylight powers. Dark mode on, and I'm sharp, still thinking, still working, still here. Something in my system runs a little differently, and I'm studying it now. I don't always execute the way the manual says I should. I skip a frame, misread a moment, freeze where others would have stood. My thoughts arrive in formats that don't neatly match the world, and half the time the output isn't anything like what I planned or hurled. I used to run diagnostics every time a process failed, treating every variation like a system that derailed. And now I've started documenting what the glitches say. They're patterns with a logic I was too afraid to wait. I'm not a machine optimized for clean output. I'm a self-made of approximations all throughout. Every error is a data point worth reading. Every flaw is where my actual growth is seeding. There's a glitch in me, and I'm examining it closely. It's the part of me that no one sees most. There's a glitch in me, and it's teaching me the most. Every irregular edge reveals a better post. Every skip, every stutter, every unexpected fall was the honest version pushing through the wall. There's a glitch in me, and it is worth studying. I used to patch myself before anyone could see the irregular edges of the real and actual me. I smooth the surface, kept the output clean and tight, perform the flawless version underneath fluorescent light. But performance cost a kind of energy I couldn't keep affording, and underneath the editing I found what was worth recording. The authentic, raw, unpolished thing that functioned without pretense. The self that only works when finally relieved of the defense. This is worth studying? What if the glitch was never an error to correct? What if it was the thing that kept me most direct to the truth of what I am beneath the polished face? I stopped fixing what was leading me to grace. There's a glitch in me, and I will keep on reading it. It's the language of the wolves that I've been needing. There's a glitch in me, it's my most honest data point. Every imperfection is a self-discovered joy between who the world expected and who I turned out to be. Every fracture was a window, every window let me see. There's a glitch in me, and I am studying it whole. Perfectly imperfect, I understand now. That is the word. One percent remaining, but I haven't stopped yet. Maybe that's the problem. The indicator has been blinking red for longer than I'll say. I've been running past the warning signs for more than just a day. Every person in my world keeps asking things I cannot give, and I keep giving anyway, because I don't know how to live. As someone who admits that they have nothing left to pour, I gave the last of what I had, and then I gave a little more. And now I stand completely hollow, flickering and thin, still trying to perform the strength I don't have left within. It is not weakness to be empty, it is proof of how completely I have given. The ones who run out first are often the ones who love the deepest and the most driven. Empty battery, but I keep trying, even past the point where I should be reclining. Empty battery, still in motion, running on the fumes of pure devotion. But something in me knows this can't go on. I need to find the core before the light is gone. Empty battery needs to rest to fight. I am learning now the thing I should have known before. The rest is not the opposite of effort, it is more. That the bravest choice I can make tonight for me is to stop performing and to simply let it be. I plug into the quiet like a socket in the wall, into the breath and sleep and everything before the fall. Because a body that is empty cannot carry what it must, and healing is the only thing that builds the kind of trust that lets me show up whole, not just surviving and unjust. The charging is not surrendering the mission, it is the wisest kind of self-permission. You cannot pour from empty, that's the lesson. So I rest before the next expression. Empty battery, but I keep trying, even past the point where I should be reclining. Empty battery, still in motion, running on the fumes of pure devotion. But something in me knows this can't go on. I need to find the core before the light is gone. is what it means to actually live. Full battery, and I am whole again. Recharged, restored, and finally resting right. I built something that was supposed to protect me. It did, and it cost me everything. After the kind of breaking that I thought would end my ability to function, to trust, to let another person close. So I architected distance everywhere I needed warmth the most. Every entrance had a lock, every window had a screen, every conversation monitored for what it really meant to mean. And I was safe completely, absolutely safe inside. But safety without openness is just another word for hide. A heart that never opens is a heart that's slowly swallowed whole by the walls that were built to guard it, that end up taking its soul. My firewall heart, it thought it was protecting me. My firewall heart, it blocked the very things that set me free. My firewall heart, kept every thread outside the gate. My firewall heart, and kept the love from getting in too late. The things worth having don't bypass the wall. They wait and wait and wait until you finally hear the call. My firewall heart, I'm learning to unlock. I'm learning to unlock. And then the smallest things began to slip on through. A voice that didn't leave when I was difficult to move. To a person who came back after I had pushed away, who sat outside the firewall and decided they would stay. And slowly something cracked inside the architecture seams. The wall was never permanent, it only was my fears and dreams projected into stone to keep the pain from getting near. But walls don't scream for love, they scream for everything I fear. I start to lower the defenses 1 degree and feel the warmth of what was waiting there for me. Not everyone outside the wall is danger. Some connections only find you through the open stranger. My firewall heart, it thought it was protecting me. My firewall heart, it blocked the very things that set me free. My firewall heart, kept every thread outside the gate. My firewall heart, and kept the love from getting in too late. The things worth having don't bypass the wall. They wait and wait and wait until you finally hear the call. My firewall heart, I'm learning to unlock. I'm learning to unlock. I searched everywhere for a version of myself that already existed. It was never there, so I started building. I've been scrolling through the pages of who I was supposed to be, looking for a template that will match the thing I feel inside of me. I searched in every archive, every mirror, every room, every curated version of success that ends in bloom, but nothing ever reflected back the actual real. Every page I landed on was highlight reel and zeal. I searched until the searcher made me hollow and unsure, and still I came up empty on the search that I was living for. The page I needed wasn't built yet, couldn't be. Nobody was gonna design the version I must be. I had to stop the searching and begin the making. Had to stop the watching and get into the taking. 404 not found, but I'm still moving. 404 not found, but I keep proving. I'm not a broken link, I'm an unwritten page. I'm building something real from the wreckage and the rage. Every error led me to the only door that opens into who I was created for. 404, but I'm under construction. They said follow maps that others drew before, but every line I traced led to someone else's shore. The path designed for them was never built for me. I'm coding my own story line by line and free. I stopped comparing my first draft to someone else's final cut. I stopped apologizing for the life that I have not yet got. I closed the tabs of imitation, closed the copy frame, and started writing something that could only bear my name. There was the invitation to begin. The loss of what I copied let the real thing in. When I stopped chasing pages I could never own, I started writing something I had never known. 404 not found, but I'm still moving. 404 not found, but I keep proving. I'm not a broken link, I'm an unwritten page. I'm building something real from the wreckage and the rage. Every error led me to the only door that opens into who I was created for. 404, but I'm under construction. Yeah, you can't retrieve what hasn't been created yet. You have to build the thing through sweat and effort. I stopped the search and I began to make it, and that was when my whole life started waking. 200 okay, the page is loaded. The version I was always meant to be is showing. 200 okay, I'm connected, I am clear. Self I kept on searching for has finally appeared. I wrote the page and no one wrote before me. I chose my own direction and I chose my own story. 200 okay, and I am found. 200 okay, I'm breaking new ground. Loading complete. Self-author. Right here. When everything you held inside finally overwhelms the holding, that is not the end. That is the truth. I hit the limit. felt for years came pouring to the floor. Every truth I had suppressed became impossible to store. The crash was not the failure of my system, it was the system finally defending what had been compressed beyond capacity, releasing what I'd held in for too long to be me. Core dumps, every compressed truth poured out. Core dumps, my psyche ended every suffocating doubt. All the things I buried, all the cells I silenced, all the rage I balanced, all the quiet violence of a life lived underneath the weight of what I hid. Core dumps, and I finally did what I should have done before. I let it all come out. I let it all come out. I read through the wreckage piece by piece and line by line, and found the parts I've been convinced were no longer mine. My anger was still there, real and unapologetic. My grief was waiting deep and uncorrected. My desire for a life that matched the one inside my chest. My voice, the one I silenced just to pass the test. I hadn't lost my psyche, I had backed it into less, and finally the seams gave way under all the press. This overflow is not a malfunction, it is sacred. Nothing that is real inside me should be negated. Every feeling breaking outward from the core of me is the starting line of something finally free. Core dumps, every compressed truth poured out. Core dumps, my psyche ended every suffocating doubt. All the things I buried, all the cells I silenced, all the rage I balanced, all the quiet violence of a life lived underneath the weight of what I hid. Core dumps, and I finally did what I should have done before. I let it all come out. I let it all come out. The collapse came because it had to. No psyche holds that much and stays intact and true. And from the scattered output of my breakdown, I found material to build myself completely new. Core process, I am integrating every broken signal. I am carefully translating back into the language that was always mine. A psyche that is honest, whole, and finally aligned. I hold my truth out loud without apology or pretense. A new design built from my own lived experience. Core rebuilt, and I am free. Core rebuilt, and I am finally me. Truth released, psyche rebuilt, finally free. This is not the end. This is not even close to the end. This is the restart. I've stood here in this exact place more than once before. At the 0 hour when I thought I couldn't take one more. When everything I'd built had turned to something I don't recognize. And I was staring at the ruins with my burned and open eyes. But here is what the edges always taught me every time I fell. That 0 is not the end of counting, it's where all good stories swell. It's the moment right into something I keep running. Restart now, I'm pressing play on everything again. Restart now, I refuse to fall beneath this kind of strain. Restart now, with every single scar converted into fuel. Restart now, I am rewriting every limiting old rule that said I had to stay broken to deserve the climb, that said I had to lose myself to cross the line. Restart now, and I am absolutely unstoppable. I took the full curriculum of everything that broke me down and turned it into armor, turned the loss into the crown. I didn't waste a single painful night or wasted year. Each one became the building block of why I'm standing here. The chapters I would have deleted from my story if I could are the very ones that made me into someone who understood that the bottom of the valley is the only place to see the altitude you'll reach when you commit to being free. The restart is not failure, it's the bravest navigation of a life that needed redirecting toward its destination. Turning back into the storm to find the route that's true is the only thing that leads to something actually new. Restart now, I'm pressing play on everything again. Restart now, I refuse to fall beneath this kind of strain. Restart now, with every single scar converted into fuel. Restart now, I am rewriting every limiting old rule that said I had to stay broken to deserve the climb, that said I had to lose myself to cross the line. Restart now, and I am absolutely unstoppable. They wrote the ending of my story before the story even started. But the ones who dare to restart are the ones who change the ending they were given. Restart now, and I have never been this loud. Restart now, and I am standing in the crowd of everyone who fell and got back up and chose to stay. Restart now, the world has not yet seen the version on the way. Every system in me that was ever shut completely down. Every dream I thought was permanently lost and underground.